Wow. Yes, yes, yes. Good evening, good afternoon. Hello, Berlin. How we doing? Yeah. All right. So, by a show of hands, who here would like to get promoted? Anybody? Oh, that's a lot of hands. That's a lot of hands. Okay. Who here is thinking about changing to a different job? Maybe changing their role, exploring something new? Yes. Got my changers in the crowd. Thanks. And who sometimes dreams about going solo, founding their first company, or founding that next company? Any founders in the crowd, solopreneurs? Yes. Love that energy. There are so many of us here craving a change. You are not in this alone. Now, I've changed my career 3 times already, and I've explored what worked for me and what didn't. In the past, we took a profession and did a job. Our career and professional identity were steady, for better or for worse. Most of the time, we worked for 60 plus, 70 plus years and then retired, and that was that. The difference now is that change is only accelerating. Careers are no longer linear. The average person will change jobs 12 times and have several career reinventions across a 100-year lifespan. So I think we need to get good at change. I think we need to learn how to embrace and adapt through change so that we can fail forwards instead of get knocked back. So, I've looked at what worked for me, and I'm here today to share my secrets to career resilience with you so that you can get where you need to go, faster, with less friction and fewer setbacks. The simplest secret to career resilience is owning your career. Your manager does not own your career, okay? Nor your peers, nor your classmates, not your parents, or your friends, or who you follow. You do. Now, I'm going to make 2 arguments why I think we need to look at our own career development with a fresh perspective, and then I'm going to provide you with a success framework to put that into action today. The first argument that I make is that getting hired or getting selected for your next big thing is really tough. So how can we make it easier for people to say yes to us? Whether it's a hiring committee, whether it's an investor thinking about placing their first $50 million or their next $125 million in your startup. What if we could increase our chance of success on the first try and have fewer painful setbacks where we have to reset and readjust? I argue that you need to create concrete, defensible reasons to believe in you and equip decision makers to choose you. You know, these big fateful decisions are often made without us in the room. So how can we make it easier for someone to argue on our behalf and say yes the first time? The second argument that relates to this is the idea that it's no longer enough just to be capable. I know this is not great news. We might fight this inside and stay focused on mastering our craft. After all, in the past, we took a profession and did a job, and we did our best to get really, really darn good at it. But now that careers are no longer linear, change and disruption are affecting us, we need to take a fresh approach. I argue that you need to become credible, capable, and visible for your target role, target industry, and the life and career you want to design in the future. Now, some people might ask me, Neil, okay, I am capable. I do such great work. Why haven't they promoted me yet? Or someone else who is stuck might ask me, Neil, I have this great degree. I have done so much work to get it. Why is no one selecting me, and why is it so difficult for me to get where I need to go? And finally, I have great friends close to me who I really respect, who are very visible. They're in all the right rooms. They know all the right people. So why does no one want to do business with them? It is not enough to just be one of these. You need to be all three of these. And I want to put this into perspective through the three big changes I've gone through so far. The first time change chose me. I was working at a startup that went under. I lost my job, my visa ran out, and I had to move back and retreat to my hometown, moving back in with my parents. It wasn't ideal. I was also trying to build a relationship at this time, and this move a continent away created distance in our relationship. And then I got lucky. I stumbled into a big opportunity in a hypergrowth industry at a big tech company in Seattle. I grew with that role for the next 5 years and paid off 6 figures in debt. I got married and punched my ticket to move from Seattle to London, and I was so excited. The third time, finally, I proactively disrupted my own career to pivot into a new emerging hypergrowth industry that I've grown with passionately here in Berlin for the past 5 years. Let's take a look at what this means practically for you, now that you know a bit about me. I have created a framework that I'm going to guide you through step by step, which you can take away and apply to reach your next big thing with less friction and fewer setbacks. So you work your way around this wheel. It starts with marquee events and a well-placed mentor. You then build a novel project, and you support yourself with effective training and a powerful certification. To introduce you to this 5 pillars method, the first 3 pillars are what I call your catalysts. You need to invest in these catalysts because they will really unlock resources and support for you throughout your journey. Now, none of these 5 things are new or surprising to you, I'm sure. I'm confident that you're already putting several of these into practice right now. You're actually here at TEDxESMT for this marquee event. But when you do these in a structured, intentional way, you will build momentum and unlock surprising synergies that will help you reach your next big thing more efficiently. So I'm going to take them one by one and invite you to take an action here today on one of these 5 pillars. So start thinking about which one stands out to you. Where have you already developed something? Let's say it's you've just completed effective training, or you're on a path to a powerful certification. How can you double down on that and get more value from one of these pillars that you've already created? The other thing I want you to think about, which of these pillars stand out and maybe feel a little bit uncomfortable to you? They're not something you naturally do. Maybe it's going and networking at events. These are our kind of blind spots that we put off investing in until it's too late and they're holding us back. So that's okay. Just acknowledge that and begin to work on a plan of how you can invest and make small bets to get a big return in one of these pillars you maybe haven't invested in yet. So what do I mean by marquee events in particular? Marquee events are where you go to connect with the people and ideas crucial for your next big thing. You can see these ideas live in action, not only on your smartphone screen or hearing about what your friend or peer has accomplished. You're there. You're in the room meeting decision makers. Maybe it's a hiring manager. Maybe it's a future investor. But you won't know unless you go out there. And the first step, of course, is identifying, okay, Neil, well, what is a marquee event? I might not be even sure where to start. When you are at level 1 out of 5 levels with this pillar, you might say, I have no idea what marquee events are and I'm not sure where to start. Whereas level 5, when you've built this all the way up, you're on stage, you're giving a talk, your paper is being presented at a marquee event. So you're able to leverage that and maximize that value. The reason that you should not overlook marquee events is that they are truly a catalyst. They can power your transition to your next big thing through any difficult change. It doesn't matter if you've just had a setback. If you trust in yourself and show up, you give the universe a chance to help you. Everyone knows about mentors. Everyone has hopefully been told, hey, you've got to develop a mentor. You need to get your mentors in order. I'm saying you need one specific mentor for your next big thing. Someone who is close to the decision point, who understands those people in that room and how they're going to be deciding on you. Wouldn't that be an invaluable ally? Couldn't you get amazing insight from that person? But how can you develop that relationship? Well, you need to be proactive and you need to own and set the agenda. So in my case, it was actually a hiring manager who said no. It was a hiring manager who said, not this time. And I made sure to get on a call with that person. I didn't want to challenge the decision. I didn't want to replay what had already happened. I just had one question. Do you think I should give up on this idea of me doing this, of me making it to my next big thing? And what he said to me changed my career. And it surprised me, frankly. He said, Neil, I'm impressed by your persistence on this, okay? If you want to develop yourself and keep trying, set a monthly mentoring session with me. You own the agenda. I did, and then the next summer I was successful. I did transfer to Berlin as a key account manager for startups running in the cloud. But if I had not pushed, if I had not given myself permission to try after that first setback, I wouldn't be here speaking with you today. So if you do not get comfortable being uncomfortable, if you are not willing to risk it and put yourself on the line and be vulnerable with a potential well-placed mentor, you might not have access to the insight and the information that that person shared with me. And finally, you can actually develop a bridge plan together. A bridge plan working with these 5 pillars that identifies pillars you've already developed and blind spots for you to invest in and really proactively, aggressively go after closing those gaps. So let's bring this into reality. When you have a novel project, novel means new. This is something that is a stretch for you. It's a stretch outside your current role responsibilities, which, by the way, we can stop obsessing about our job description and stop worrying about what are my responsibilities? How do I get more responsibilities? This is part of owning your career. You define what you perform and what you deliver in alignment, of course, with your management. So the purpose of a novel project is to create relevant, measurable results that you can then bring to a hiring decision or an investor and show, hey, these are results from the real world that I've delivered while stretching outside my comfort zone. So you can probably discover ideas for this at a marquee event, and you can work with a well-placed mentor to align what an impactful project will be. If you do not invest in a novel project, if you stay in your comfort zone while asking people to believe in you, you are not going to create concrete, defensible reasons to believe in you. And it is much more difficult to grow into someone who is credible, capable, and visible in your target space. So we've covered the 3 catalysts, and now let's talk about how to support yourself. So the last 2 are about effective training and a powerful certification. We are living in a skills-based economy. So you need to proactively develop your skills, okay? It is not enough to wait for your employer to assign you your next step. This is you. So this effective training makes sure that you can deliver your novel project on time and with meaningful results. It also helps you to create marketable skills that you can bring to market in the economy. And if you skip out on this one, it's going to get tough. You may get found out at some point because effective training is all about building your capabilities. When it's time to round things out, and you really need to present a concrete, defensible reason to believe in you. I have not found many better options than a powerful certification. So a powerful certification should be the number one thing that you could get for that role to provide concrete evidence that you are ready to perform that. The point is not so much that this replaces a project or that this replaces skills training or any of the other pillars we talked about. It's just something that people can point to when you are not in the room that shows your readiness for the role. What this meant for me was I needed to pass the number one certification for my target role before I even interviewed for it. This was kind of nuts. The standard expectation that the hiring team had told me, that the recruiter had told me was, people who are 6 months into this role, who have about 2 years of experience in the field with this technology, they are usually achieving this after 6 months. So I had to buck up, go after this, and get it done before the next time I interviewed, because I did not want to get a rejection again. I was just not going to be told no again. So think about how you can use a powerful certification. When is the right time for you to get that? And can you be proactive and differentiate yourself versus other candidates or other startups by really achieving that and then being vocal and visible about it? You've seen a quick introduction now to these 5 pillars. And I want to remind you that none of these are new ideas. So I promised you that one of the secrets to career resilience is doing them together to create momentum and synergies. Because when you start taking risks, a surprising thing happens with the community around you. People start supporting you. They can be other learners that you met on a training. They could be a hiring manager or investor that you meet at a marquee event. They might be someone who develops into a well-placed mentor. So what I want to do here today is invite you to think about your next big thing and see that opportunity in front of you for a moment. What is one action that you will commit to taking in the next 30 days to develop one of these pillars for you? Is there a training that you know you'd love to do, but you haven't been able to make time for it? Is there an event that you missed last year that you need to go to this year? Could you simply take a quick win on that and sign up for it and get yourself ready to go? These little steps will put you into action and get momentum behind you to win you more support. For me, my quick win in the next 30 days is speaking about my experience on stage here with my well-placed mentor and exploring what I've learned about myself from this experience. So I think you're ready, and I see you processing on this. I want to invite you to be accountable for that action and go forward and reach your next big thing.